Okay. All right. Good morning. And let's start on the ground today. Go ahead and make sure you have two blocks or a roller or something to lift your hips up on. That'll help your movement as we go through the practice today. And so we'll just have those blocks off to the side for right now, but let's just come onto the mat for a couple of moments. Remember, when you're in the practice, especially the yoga type practice, is you want to be aware of what your body's asking for. Sometimes you come in and it's just good to just be there. But maybe sometimes the body's asking for sometimes maybe a little more, maybe it's a little less. And so be aware of what is being asked. And then sometimes the ask is quiet because your breath constantly is being interrupted. Or maybe your thoughts are constantly kind of shifting off to a bunch of other places. And, maybe you need to attend, or maybe you need to separate yourself. And so highly suggest that you focus in on your breath and then allow your breath to kind of help you focus into what your body really needs. Does it need attention on some area? Does it need actually separation from something that's going on? So again, let's start with ourselves on our back, arms by our side, just slightly. So we're in a better, more relaxed position. Remember, arms turned in will shorten up the chest and kind of tighten it. And but arms open stretches the chest, gives more opportunity for breath. About 3 or 4 nice long deep breaths. Just kind of checking in, noticing what you notice. One more breath, just like that. Inhale and exhale. So I want you to begin with your feet and just lift your toes and lift your heels. Lift your toes and lift your heels. Try to keep that breath as even as you can. And notice if you're kind of racing. Notice if one foot seems to come up in your heels or your toes higher than the other. Or do your feet roll out? Notice what you notice. Take time to be present within your movement. Good. And then from there, I want you to tuck and tilt your pelvis. So just a small tuck, you'll feel an imprinting of your pelvis. And then a tilt, you'll feel the tip of your pelvis and the arcing of your back a little bit. You may notice it pulling on the back of your neck. Remember, our muscles are attached all the way up to the base of the skull. And a couple more nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Be aware of the distance, or maybe does it feel like one hip wants to pull deeper or tuck more than the other? And then pause, finding a neutral position between tuck and tilt. Take your arms up and over the head and exhale down. And again, up and over your head and exhale down. 2 more, 3 more times. Nice, long, slow breaths as you take it, arms up. Nice, long breath as you take the arms down. Last one here. Take your arms up and just keep the arms up this time. Arms overhead. Palms can be up or thumbs can be up and pinkies can be towards the sky, whatever works better for you. Big deep breath, stretch or feel the elevation of your shoulders towards your ears. And then exhale, slide or depress your shoulders down into your body. Then take your hands back to your side. Let's now bring the knees toward the chest. And then just drop your right foot and left foot. Just in a sense, warming the joints up a little bit here. And then bring both knees together. And then just drop your knees to your right and to your left. Now, not going too big into a stretch yet, just giving yourself a chance to just kind of feel the movement from side to side. And then we're going to let your legs drop. Grab one of those blocks, take the block actually underneath your head, and drop both legs to one side. So you're in a sideline position. Now you may need to have the block so it's kind of more in line with your ear. So the front of the block is in line with your ear, so you have some room to move. And you're just going to take your left arm, take it up and over your head to your back to its left position, and then drop in. So we're moving from the shoulders and the thoracic spine. So big circle up over your head. Exhale, bring your hands together. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And I'm just allowing my head to be the writer here. Reaching around. And one more time. Circle up and around, and then exhale. Go ahead and turn or bring your knees up, and let's go to the other side. Placing that block for your head. Laying down. Again, if the long edge of the block is lined up with my ear, then as I roll my head, I've got more space. So my knees are toward one side. My arms are also kind of like the shape of a C or a part of an E. Take my right arm up and over my head like a rainbow, and then roll back to that fetal position. Roll up and over and close. You can feel some beautiful stretch in the chest. So it's an active stretch more than a settled or a in place or discrete stretch. Breathing, a couple more big breaths as you take that right arm open, exhale. And the right arm, as with the left arm, didn't have to be on the ground when you reach it over the body, like the rainbow position. It's just enough to feel and move that whole shoulder through its full range of motion. Two more. And then, of course, we're getting some motion in the thoracic spine, the lats, the rib cage, and so on. Good. Last time. Close and then circle that arm up and over, and we'll close again, and then roll yourself back to center. So your knees are bent again. You can keep your head on the block or place your head back. And then as you can, if you need to, place one hand behind your head and then just lift your head up and back down. You can nod your head if that's easier for you. You have a ponytail, it kind of gets in the way. As you can, again, pick your head up and then lower back. So if picking your head up is too much without your hands, pick your head up with your hands. Tilt your chin up, curl, pick your head up. So you're moving that neck, breathing. And again, you can, of course, just sink your chin in and lift your chin up. Get an elongation for that neck. It's interesting how each of the joints of the body just move and accept movement just a little bit differently. And then let's turn the head to the left and to the right. Again, you can roll the head kind of on the ground, or you can pick the head up and turn the head to the ear. Pick the head up and come center. Pick the head up and turn towards the ear. Whatever's more comfortable for you, just moving that space of the neck. Of course, picking the head up is a little bit muscularly intense, but doable nonetheless. All right. We've made it all the way to the head. Let's pause for a couple of breaths again. Breathing. Giving yourself that chance to just check in. Exhaling. Good. All right. From here, bring your hands to your side, chin towards your sternum. As you can, begin to just lift your hips up. Let's just start with a nice back extension. Feet flat to the ground, forearms flat to the ground, or you can Bring your forearms vertical and press the upper arms into the ground. And we're just going to hold this for about 30 seconds. Just breathe as comfortable as you can. Now, if this is difficult for you to maintain this posture, you can put that block underneath you and see if you can just barely miss the block. Or hold the block just in case your hips fall, you have the block to rest on a little bit higher than the ground. You got about 10 more seconds. Nice extension, some release for the neck muscles. And then let's move the block if it's there, lower the back to the ground, bring the right knee and left knee into the chest. Not a lot of tuck to the pelvis, just a little stretch, elongate the neck. So I don't want you to think of pulling the tailbone off the ground, just elongating the back, breathing, pull the knees to the chest without really tucking the pelvis. Lower the left foot to the ground. Hold underneath the right, bring that right knee closer to the belly. Big deep breath. And then let's extend that right leg up. Flex that right foot. Hold. Sink in opposition to the heel reaching up. Feel the elongation down the back line of the body. Breathing. Push into that heel. Pull the toe down. And then let's drop the big toe towards the navel and then begin to lower the right leg towards the left. So I'm not quite crossing and I'm not letting my left knee drop, keeping my left knee there. So I'm stretching the outer part of my right leg, sinking still my right hip back. Relax and make sure you don't get all grabby in that outer hip. Good, and then bring that leg back up. Bring your knee back into your chest. Let's cross the right ankle over the left knee for a figure 4 posture. Right hand pressing into the inside of that right thigh. Watch the pelvis. You don't want to be in too much of a tuck. You want to be a level pelvis here. Press out and up and away. So you're not just pushing your leg out, but you're pulling up out of the hip. Big deep breath. Bringing the left knee into the chest now, opening up the hip a little bit more. Continue to press into that right thigh. And then let's take that right leg all the way over towards the left side of the mat, keeping the right shoulder down. Release the left hand, and again, press into the inside of that right knee. Breathing, big breaths to open up the rib cage, the hip. Remember that rib is the junction between the pelvis and the shoulder. If we unlock this, very often the ribs, we can get some release differently in the shoulders and the hips. That's why it's so important to really understand your breathing. And then let's unlace that right leg, bring that right and left foot back to center and hold. We're going to go through the whole thing, including the glute bridge. So from here, forearms to the ground, lift those hips up, and let's go into that back extension. So you want to think of sinking into the top of your shoulders, but not moving your shoulders back. So you're in your quads too much. So shoulders are underneath, you're elongated in the neck. Slight tuck of the pelvis so you don't get too much into the quadriceps, pressing into the ground or from a bent elbow. Breathing. You might find that you can get some more extension now that we've done some hip mobility and some stretching. Get long. This chin to your sternum position is great for the thyroid, putting some pressure there, squeezing like a sponge, releasing. When we let go, giving it some good blood flow. About 10 more seconds. And then release the shoulders. If you have that block in there, release the block. And of course, it's lower. Bring the right knee and left knee to the chest, holding on top of the knees. Again, we're not tucking the pelvis. Just bring the knees toward the chest. Exhale. So you're elongating the back line of the body. Lower the right knee, Hold underneath the left, pull the left knee closer to the body. Breathing. And then reach that left heel up. So again, you're pulling your tailbone down as you're reaching your heel up, drawing your toe towards your shin, breathing, keeping your right leg involved, not hardening, not pushing, but definitely active. Actually, this is one of my favorite stretches, just passively holding that leg, kind of a passive active thing going on, because I'm actively reaching my leg up, but I'm not pulling my leg to meet or doing anything. If you're having a difficult time keeping your leg up there, of course, hold your leg, bend your knee, do what you can do to fully extend that leg. And then let's tip the big toe towards the navel so you get the stretch outside and up the outer calf, and then begin to lower across the midline of the body, that left leg, so you get even more stretch. Again, still sinking that left hip down, breathing, reaching that left heel outward and kind of up to the far corner of the room. And then bring the leg level back into center again. And let's cross the left ankle over the right knee. Taking the left hand, sliding up and away. Remember to keep that pelvis. It's easy to not realize that you're tucked because it's a natural position for, just for because the knee is up. Let the pelvis re-level itself so you get opening in the inguinal joint here, and then press up and away. So that inguinal joint deep inside that hip groove is also where the psoas is passing through. A lot of nerve line is passing through there. You want to keep that space nice and open. There's a lot of heat that builds up inside that inguinal joint. Breathing. Again, remember, it's not just pushing away. It's kind of slide up and away. Left foot is flexed. Let's bring the right knee in now. Still pushing away a little bit with your left hand, pulling with your right, giving a little bit of oppositional pressure, still with a flat or neutral pelvis. Take a deep breath, exhale. Let's lower that left foot all the way to the ground. I noticed my block was in the way, and that's a good possibility. If taking your leg all the way across doesn't work for you, like your shoulder wants to pop off with it, stop about 3/4 of the way down, put the block underneath your foot if you need to. And then, or if you don't need to, let your foot drop all the way to the floor, let your left hand come out. See if you can hook the left leg with the right thigh, and then you can use the right hand to open up that hip a little bit more. Breathing. Watch that you're not shrugging into your shoulder, and that you're still breathing nicely through the left rib wall as well as the right, of course. Just settling the body. Unlace that left knee, return back to center, and let the feet. Let's drop those knees out wide. Let's go into reclined cobbler's pose. Of course, if you want to, place the blocks underneath the backs of the thighs and just feel that pelvis mobility. So even when we have our feet flex and point and our hips tuck and tilt, we can really work and feel that pelvis come into a more level or neutral posture. But at the same time, you want to have the rib cage touching. So you don't want a big bowed back. You want the ribs down, pelvis level, not tucked. So if it's tucked, your knees are going to come in and grip. And so we just want those legs to open out nicely. For you, if they land on the floor, fantastic. For me, I don't know if I've ever gotten my knees or outside of my thighs to the floor in this position. Take a nice long deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. All right. Gently using your hands, bringing both knees into center. Let's bring the right knee into the chest and just bring yourself all the way up. Let's take both blocks and we're going to make a T with our blocks. We're going to give our upper body some love. So we're going to have one block down, like the long part of the T, the other block on top with a little space, and you may need to fudge this and move this a little bit. So we're going to lower back ourselves. So we did that back extension, and now we're doing upper back flexion. And then you just want that block on your back to be just below your shoulder blades. So your back rests on it. And then your head, I think I might have actually gotten the right spot the first time. So again, remember, it's a T. The top of the block here is up a little higher than the bottom block. And you just want to be in a position where your block goes between the shoulder blades, and then your arms can drop out. Your knees can be bent here, or you can extend the legs. So you can see this upper back extension here. And we so often are sitting in so much flexion, driving our car, even sleeping, driving our car, sitting at the computer, walking even can be a lot of flexion. Notice what your legs do as you're in flexion. A lot of times they roll out more because you're lifted, your pelvis is slightly lifted, and so you have more space for them just to roll to 10 and 2. Breathing. Now, in an ideal situation, you might have more blocks or a bolster, like one of those cushy, nice bolsters, big pillow. But with the 2 blocks, it does open the chest up. Let's take the arms up a little bit higher than the head. Or the shoulder line. So my hands are still touching the ground, but my elbows are not as much touching. Big breath towards the belly, not to rise the chest. Take a deep breath in again. Take the arms a little bit higher. You may need to feel like you can roll your shoulders down and back a little bit so you can get your hands now a little bit more over the head. And then you're going to feel this higher stretch in the upper part of your chest. If there's pinching in the shoulder blade, lower the hands or bend the elbows and see if you can get out of that. That may just be a temporary pinching of a nerve or of a little bit of musculature in there. And then let's raise the arms a little bit higher. Notice if your fingers drop more than your wrists do, or can you get the back of your knuckles to the ground still? Breathe, and now you can feel that stretch even into your armpits. And then let's go a little bit further overhead. Can you take your arms almost squared up and overhead? Breathing, get long in the body. Breathing up and overhead, get long, reach. And then let's come all the way around like a snow angel and up and over back towards the ground overhead. Circle around, big snow angel, and up and overhead. One more time, circle around, up and over. We're going to go reverse, straight into it. Exhale, down. Inhale, big up and overhead. Exhale, down. Notice my legs are just still and settled and quiet. One more time, circle out wide, overhead, and then exhale down. And it may even feel more easy to sit on the blocks now. Slide your feet in one at a time. And now we're going to, instead of just taking the blocks out and falling backwards, I want you to roll away from the block into more of a fetal position. Take the block out from underneath you there. And then just try to find it. And then gently roll back on your back. So being in a high extension can be a lot for the back. So just let your back just enjoy settling. You may notice your rib cage down more, your shoulders down more. And let's just pause. Good. All right, bring one knee into the chest or just shift your knees over. Let's come into all fours. Inhaling, coming into hands and knees position. Hands down by your underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, toes curled under or flat, you choose. Exhale, pull those shoulders back. Let's round the chin into the chest. Inhale, lift the tailbone, pull the sternum forward. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the back, chin to the chest. Little flexion, little extension now, moving. Pull the belly in, round the back, chin to the chest. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the head. Exhale, inhale, lift. Two more. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, lift, and let's finish with a rounding of the back, chin towards the sternum. Inhale, then lift the tailbone to the chest, sit your bottom back towards your heels. Take your arms a little bit more so they're almost extended. Think of your elbows as tucking your elbows towards your knees. And you probably can't see very well, but I turn my shoulders and slightly my wrists, so my fingers are more pointed towards the corners. So they're not straight up the middle of my mat, but from my elbows and my hands are slightly turned towards the corners of the mat. And then I'm just going to lift my knees off the mat, coming into a modified downward facing dog. Now, the purpose of moving my arms so they're more long and elongated with my crease of my elbow extended is really to give myself an opportunity to pull my shoulders in towards my body for stability. Breathing. So I'm not bowing out. I really want to tuck those arms in. Get my shoulders to broaden out, not my elbows. As you can, begin straightening those legs, sink into your heels. Feel that stretch in your calves. And then let's walk up towards your hands, but not all the way. Walk your hands back. So you're about halfway up your mat, chin towards your sternum, and let's hold the opposite elbows and the hands. Exhale, pull the belly off the thighs, lift the tailbone. Drop the hands, slide the hands up the shins or just above the knees. Let's come into a half lift. Inhale, sweep all the way up, arms up and overhead. Exhale all the way down. Inhale again, all the way up. Exhale down halfway. Bring your arms out wide to a T. Hinge and dive forward, hands to the ground. Walk your hands forward. Step your left knee, leg back. Right knee comes to the ground. So left leg is extended. Right knee is towards your right wrist. Lift your chest. Exhale and walk back. So your left leg and right leg are now straight and you're folding over your left knee. Breathing. So you're in a slight triangle position with your hands forward of your toes. Breathing, head down, chest elongated against your leg. Look forward, walk your hands forward, drop your right knee into the ground, lift, breathing. Drop your left knee to the ground, rock back so you're in half kneeling. Bring your right foot forward and sink into that right leg. Look up, reach up, right arm up, right arm back towards the back wall. Right arm back down. Take the right hand to the inside of the right leg, roll the bottom of that right foot up. Your right knee will go out. So there's a variation here to a certain degree of that figure 4 stretch. Gets a little more deeper inner thigh. Roll the bottom of the right foot in, rock back, straighten your right leg out. Come forward, you're back to half kneeling, bringing that right foot up, bringing yourself up, overhead reach, nice and tall. Exhale down, circle all the way up, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Hands to the ground, step your right leg back, breathing. Walk your hands forward, bring your left knee to the ground, breathing. Get long in that right leg, rock yourself up and fold over your left leg this time. Let that head drop, elongate that left leg. Look forward, drop into that left knee again, lift the head and chest up, drop the right knee, rock back into half kneeling. Breathing, chest is up, body's nice and long. Lengthen, sink into that left heel, right hand is down, lengthen, reach up with that left arm. Reach back with that left arm. Circle that left arm under. Place that left hand to the inside of the left foot. Roll the left foot open. So the inside of the hip gets some motion. Breathing. Roll the bottom of that left foot in. Take that left hand outside. Rock back into your right heel. Left leg is straight. Breathing, walk forward, you're back into half kneeling, bringing yourself upright, reach, circle your hands this time under, and then let's sit back into your feet. Now, if you can go straight back to your heels, great. If not, just kind of go to that spot where you can go and begin to shift back into your heels. Ideally, bringing your knee into full flexion, but if that's not available to you, you're here, especially if your ankles won't do it, your knees may have a harder time as well. Just shift back and forth, and then let's bring those knees wider, slide your hands forward into child's pose. Reach those arms, so the arms are still active, not forearms passive on the ground. Breathing. Slide your elbows underneath, forearms are on the ground, knees are still wide. If you need to be up higher so you're not in as much flexion, that's fine. Let's see if we can get some flexion on the knees and extension on the feet. Walk your hands back. Let's take your left hand and reach your, if you want to put your block down here because your head's going to go here, reach your left arm through and rest your head. Or you can bring your head all the way to the ground, you choose. Breathing. So your back of your shoulder, just through your arm, right hand overhead. Slide your right hand back, press yourself up. Again, if you want the block for your head, get the block ready. And then let's slide the right arm through, head down, either to the block or to the ground. Breathing as to breathe underneath the shoulder blade. Using your left hand, bring yourself back up again. Breathing, lift the chin, lift the chest. Tuck the chin into the sternum. Lift the chin, lift the chest. Again, tuck the chin into the sternum. One more time. Lift the chin, lift the chest. Come forward into all fours, knees back under, and then let's come back forward into all fours, into your body. Bring the blocks behind you. Let's extend out the legs. Let the heel of the hand rest into the edges of the block. Lift that chest, a little more upper back extension, opening up the chest and shoulders. Breathing, lift the sternum, lift the chin, lift the chest. Even look back with your eyes. And then roll back into center. Bend the knees in. Walk your feet close, hold both calves, turn toward your right leg, rotate. Take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. We'll go the other direction. Again, hold both of your shins and rotate. Inhale, back to center. Slide the hips back to the heels, drop into the forearms, lay back on your mat. This time, take the blocks, place them at the back side of your thighs. You can use a roller, of course, if you don't have blocks. You don't even have to use blocks, pillows, blankets, or just letting your body rest. Take a big deep breath in. An expletive breath out. Big deep breath in. And exhale out. One more time, big breath in. Just let your body settle. Let your tongue drop from the roof of your mouth and your jaw slightly release. Eyes can be opened or closed. Hopefully you're feeling the body just settled into the ground. The movement with the body, connecting with the breath throughout each one of our postures, even though they might have been very simple and at ease. Hopefully giving you some centering, some peace. Still feeling awake and aware. And we'll begin to roll your ankles. Bend your knees. Move those blocks out of the way. Shift your hips to one side. Reach up with your right arm. Roll to your right side. Using your left arm, bring yourself upright. Sitting nice and tall. Breathing, and whatever comfortable position you want to be in. If you're sitting in cross-legged, just don't pull your legs into your body, because that kind of rounds your back almost immediately. So let this whole thing be a bowl here. Body is tall. Drop your chin, whether you're on your knees, your shins, or legs to one side. Take your arms up and overhead reach. Lift your chin. Exhale through. Lower your right hand or left to the ground. No weight in that shoulder. Reach up, sink down into your opposite hip. Inhale up, tilt to the other side. Reach as if coming from the floor. Breathing, no real weight onto the side that you're tilting towards. And then back up. Hands to the front of the knees, round. If you're on your knees or shins, you can just still round your back. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. And then center. Breathe. You're done.